Okay, round 21 of Super League Denmark. 3 games on television this weekend, thanks to the Dragons being at home again. We start on Thursday nights. It's the Battle of the Five Towns, mate. Wakefield versus Castleford down at Bellevue.
Yeah.
What a way to start your weekend. What do you think to this?
It's one of those rare times where we actually know some of the potential team news in advance, isn't it, with the squads being released.
There you go.
I think that Castleford have got a couple of players coming back in Minikin and Lynch. McMinikin and Lynch, and so I think the players they're replacing in the 19, I think it's a step up.
Yeah.
So it's more competition for that team. I think in a close derby, and after a game where they didn't exactly say they're going to want to do something, but Wakefield are playing well.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll go all Castleford's way, but I do think they're good enough. 16-26 in favour of the visitors there.
Yeah, I've gone for a slightly bigger margin of victory. I'm going 36 points to 18 in favour of Castleford. I think both sides are missing a couple of key forwards, but then across the park from sort of second row back, Castleford are the better side, and whilst it's a derby and whilst it'll be a vociferous atmosphere you would think at Bellevue, I think Castleford will fix up their patchy performance from last week and come away with a fairly convincing victory. So that takes us to Friday night, then 3 fixtures to talk about on this Friday evening, the first of which sees Huddersfield taking on the Widnes Vikings. It's all about Widnes eliminating their errors. If they're going to have any kind of chance in this game, they need to fix up on the stupid mistakes that they're making as a team, both the decisions that they make to end sets and also the day-to-day handling errors and penalty giveaways that they've done. If they can fix that up, they have a chance, but honestly, I don't see it changing quickly enough for them to have enough to beat Huddersfield, who, whilst they're shorn of probably their player of the year, Jake Mamo, after only a short amount of time, Jordan Rankin's an able replacement for him. Their pack is firing, and they've got a bit more explosivity out wide, I think. So I'm going to go for a home win, 24 points to 10.
Yeah, Noah Hihifo in the 19-man squad for Huddersfield, which is a big problem for them, given what he gives and how good he's been. But Ridyard and O'Brien come back in, I think that'll be a big help. I just can't... After seeing Widnes not really offer a great deal... I don't know. With pretty much the same squad, I think pretty much as last week. I don't know like you say, where that turnaround is going to be.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a close one. Huddersfield and Widnes need it more, but even if they got it, it wouldn't necessarily be enough. You'd feel, and Huddersfield, if they win this one, they'd like to feel like they're sorted then.
Yeah.
So I think Huddersfield just 18-16.
Okay, so at the same time, on Friday night, St Helens are taking on Hull FC down at the Totally Wicked Stadium. What say ye?
I say it's a stupid name. Sorry, that was what we were talking about. Right, Percival's back. Mm-hmm. That gives their backline probably their first choice at the start of the season backline.
Yeah.
1 to 5 anyway. It'll be an interesting decision to make on Swift or Grace in that side, I think. But whoever they pick, I think that's the strength of St Helens. The weakness is in those decision-making positions in the middle of the pitch, because it's going to be Farge and it's going to be Richardson. And no Wilkin, who showed some command of those younger players earlier in the season, and no Smith, who is the player they really need to get them around the park.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, more than anything else, I'm going to go for Hull in the end. So 24-20, partly because of who is out in key positions for St Helens, but also partly because I think Hull have been quite good, and I can't imagine they'll make the same sort of shoot themselves in the foot mistakes.
Yeah. That's what I've put. I've just put effort, FC to fix up their effort in terms of the errors and stuff. And I think that whilst Percival will be back in the side, perhaps lend some credence to this. Right, St Helens, you're right. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. It's only water. The tea time.
Well, good.
Good. Look, this idea, this new plan B that they've come up with, this get the ball wide earlier thing, we'll probably see more of that from St Helens, given that Percival's back in the side. Oldbrook will be keen to stick with it if that's the sea change he's made in their tactics. But it's a transition for them at the moment, so seeing that come to fruition might take a few weeks. Now, that said, and the fact that I expect fully that Hull FC will fix up their effort and their execution, along with what you alluded to, the fact that St Helens probably are missing their most important player in terms of getting around the park, tells me that Hornsey are going to come away with the win. Similar scoreline to yours, 24 points to 18 in favour of the Black and Whites. The one that we've had trouble picking so far...
Just back to the St Helens point you made. We didn't talk about it in the review because I sort of skipped over because Sky talked for ages, didn't they, about the... Watching the game, I was like, I'm going to talk about this passing out line thing. I'm going to talk about that. And then Sky talked about it later. But it's when you've got a weapon like James Roby who can throw it so well both ways out of dummy half.
Yeah.
There's a tactic that you can definitely use, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully it starts to... I mean, hopefully for St Helens fans, it'll start to pay off for them. I don't think week 2 of this philosophy is necessarily going to be when it does. Wyatt versus Lee. What did you say while we were planning this? Can you pick a nil? Can you pick a nil or draw? Because they are just two dire sides coming up against each other, aren't they? I think Warrington will have enough to see Lee off. I think Lee are worse than Warrington. I think both teams are just defensively so poor that you'll probably see an hatful of points. 30 points to 20 in favour of Warrington, which would give you the impression that it will be an enjoyable game to watch, but I suspect it'll just be an error thug off-a-thon.
I'm thinking the same sort of thing about the lots of points. And the thing for Lee is they're going to be missing players that help them a lot.
Yeah.
Crooks has been talented and creative at times, and Acton, when he is going well, is exceptional for them for that go forward, that they miss loads when he's not playing. A few players back in for Warrington, but the bigger headline is the return to Super League action of Big Ben Pomeroy.
There you go.
If you're hanging your hopes on that, then
Jesus,
yeah, you've got the proverbial snowball's chance in hell.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go for Warrington 32-24. I think they've got a bit more than Lee.
Yeah. Well, that's my opinion on the penultimate game of the weekend. I think Wigan have just about got enough to beat the Catalan Dragons. You're getting back to full fitness, and things are starting to kind of click a bit more, I think, for Wigan in terms of the people that you can put out, and just kind of having the more finished article on the field in terms of some of your players. But I think Catalan conversely might just pull their fingers out against you for this one. I get a feeling that they won't make it easy on you. But I think you'll come away with the points. I've gone close, 16-20 in favour of Wigan.
It's kind of crunch time for Catalan, I think. Lose this and they're in the middle eights.
Yeah.
I feel Wigan, if they win this, definitely can't go in the middle eights. So, Catalan will be missing Ben Garcia, Greg Bird. It was the other one that got suspended, Fuad Yaha,
Richie Myler,
and potentially Richie Myler for his shoulder injury. It's a big holes to fill in a relatively thin squad, and we've seen one of the reasons they've slipped down the table is some of the backup players just aren't quite up to scratch. That's why I think Wigan, with Tally Matautai coming back into the reckoning, will mean more competition for places, so people can't afford to switch off a couple of times in a game and definitely have the place next week like Willie Ice did last week, or that sort of thing. Might have got credit in the bank from the week before, of course. I'm just using that as an example, but I think that adds something to Wigan. The wingers have got competition for places now. I'm not quite sure Lewis Tinney, though, scored a try, did enough to edge out both Davies and Marshall a second week running, so we'll see there. But yeah, I think things are coming together fitness wise and selection wise for Wigan. 36-20 I'm going in favour of my boys on that game.
Final game of the weekend then, Sunday afternoon, sees Salford Red Devils taking on the Leeds. It's a top 4 battle down at the AJ Bell. What do you reckon to this one? Any chance for Salford to come away with a win?
Yeah, I think it's going to be almost exactly the same as the same game earlier on in the season, the other way around, in that it was a close game, won by the home team. If I remember rightly, it was a contentious forward pass decision that had the score that separated the two sides on that occasion as well. I think it's going to be pretty close. 16-14 in favour of Salford. I'm going to edge it. They've won a couple of home games against strong opponents by close scores.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said there. I've gone for a 2-point margin as well. 18 points to 16. Salford just, for me, continuing to go under the radar. Having a fabulous season, though.
Definitely.
So, don't forget to make your Super Review predictions or to make changes to your Dream Team lineups. You can follow all this weekend's action as it happens with our friends at SL Clubs on Twitter to keep you abreast of everything that's going on in the world of Super League. Championship game of the week, what have you got for us?
Absolutely nowhere else to go other than Toulouse versus Halifax.
No.
This time of the season, 3 games left to clinch your qualifiers or your also-rans situation.
There you go. Everything to play for.
Massive.
Huge for them. League One game of the week?
Workington versus Keighley. I've picked 2 teams sort of in and around that battle. They should be in the play. They should be in the Super. They should be in the League One Super 8.
Yeah.
For the top 8. These 2 sides. A win for either of them will definitely give them that sort of confidence they'll be there. And it helps for a potential kick on up in the Super 8 to see if they can squeak into that top 5 playoff spots.
Fantastic. NRL Brit picks this week, who are we looking out for?
Well, not many games, shortened round, but we've got Roosters Rabbitohs on Friday at 10:50 and Bulldogs Knights Sunday at 7am.
Fantastic. Well, that is the world of rugby league well and truly covered. All that remains for us to do this week is wrap up the show. Okay, so we're coming to the end of episode 149. Weekly trivia round before we wrap the show up and tell people how to get in touch. Mark, what have you got for me this week?
Vowels.
Vowels?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Clues based to players' names around vowels.
The number of vowels in their names?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Right.
I've got 8 for you. I've tried to order them in the ones that I think you'll get the easiest.
Right.
So that you get your confidence up as we go along. I would be really impressed if you got either of the last 2.
Right.
But we'll see how you go.
Okay.
Are you excited?
Not at all. No, I'm not sure how this is going to go. I'm not good with word game stuff. I'm going to get my papers in order so I can write my little notes down. Right, go on.
So this first player, his full name has 12 characters.
So first and last name?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
8 of those 12 characters are vowels. 4 of them are eyes.
Sebastine Ikahihifo. No. Oh, it's 12 letters.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
His surname's almost got.
I know, yeah. Oh, hang on. Right. 4 eyes in his name. And it's 12 letters long.
Yeah. 8 vowels, 4 eyes.
Are you going to give me clues about where he plays, or I just don't got to guess it based on that?
Well, I thought you might guess this one just based on that, but if you need...
All right.
I'll tell you where he plays. Away from home. The crafty big-haired bastard. Tongan.
Yeah, but...
Tongan Kiwi.
Plays away from home?
As in, was quite...
Oh, Fui Moi Moi.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, I was thinking, hang on, how many eyes are there in Rangi Checks?
Some of them I've given you a little bit more than that. I thought you'd get that without that. Right.
No, I'm not good at word games and stuff like that, man. This is going to be hard work.
Grand final winning forward in both the NRL and the Super League.
Right.
His surname, contains 3 U's and 3 A's.
No.
If you want an extra clue, because I know you're searching for one, this is a good one.
I'll be
the team he won the NRL with.
Right.
He played for them and beat the team he won Super League with in a World Club Challenge.
Oh, what are the vowels? What are we talking?
3 U's and 3 A's.
Ali Lawatiti.
No.
Fuck off. Was it for Leeds?
No.
Oh, who was it for? It was for Bradford, wasn't it?
Right. His NRL team was the Roosters. They won a World Club Challenge game in Australia against the reigning Super League champions at the time, who he now plays for, and won a grand final with.
Pragpal Nuasala.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I thought you'd get that one straight away because it's a ridiculous name.
The